Welcome to beautiful Istanbul, Turkey. It is the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. I love this event. My name is Brent Black. It's a gorgeous day, 27 degrees here in Istanbul. A little windy, a little overcast. It's perfect for a day of spectacular drifting. We are expecting 10,000 fans. As you can see, some of the fans starting to make their way into this event. We will get started momentarily. We have some, of course, people coming in with all the flags representing the different countries that will be participating in today's car park drift. Starting, of course, with Turkey, and there will be some ceremonies in here, as you will see. We're going to have a couple of stunt drivers, some things to get us going. This is the calm before the storm. Once the Red Bull Car Park Drift gets going, if you've never seen this event, it's so cool. I'm like a fan like you, so if you're watching this, I will tell you, I'm watching it along with you, with just the excitement that comes from these drifters from around the region. We have 18 drifters from all around the region. It's going to be the biggest field we've ever had for the car park drift. As the ceremony gets underway, drivers qualifying, the drifting finals here today. They qualified in their own countries. There are some wild cards that we'll be telling you about. We have 17 men and one awesome woman drifting today. As you can hear some of those engines starting to rev up, starting to get warmed up, ready for there you go. Nice shot of some of these cars. We'll be talking about them as well. Some amazing technology going into these cars. If you're going to use us on Instagram or on Twitter, on Facebook, hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift. We will see you as you are tweeting us out and using us on your Insta stories. We'll see that. Maybe we'll say hi. We're next to the beautiful. See here, we're on the Asia side, actually. The Asia side of Istanbul, of course, where East meets West. Istanbul, half in Europe, half in Asia. Today's drift will be on the Asia side, separated by the beautiful Bosphorus. People coming from all over the world to see this, the 9th World Final of the Red Bull Car Park Drift. If you want to check out an Arabic stream of this event, if you're looking for an Arabic stream, you can go to redbull.com and go to Red Bull TV, and you will find an Arabic stream. As you see, Abdul is a legend in this sport. If you don't know Abdul, super nice guy, family man. He's been drifting for years. He is your Red Bull athlete. And Abdul is going to be doing a couple of fun things here on the course before we get underway. You can also check us out on facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. I guarantee the Arabic commentator is going to be way more entertaining than me. I know. Like I said, I'm a fan watching along with you. Look at Abdul. Abdul's very talented. He doesn't need to actually be in the car to drive. Abdul actually has a world record for the longest drift. He's a Guinness World Record holder. As you can see, your drifters coming out to say hi. They will be coming out following Abdul in order. Last year, I remember we did this, and the drifters just came out without their cars. I like this. I like a parade. How is he even doing that? He's not even using both arms. He's taking selfies. He's doing video outside the window. Look at these cars. These guys work year-round on their cars. And it's a passion. This sport comes from little garages. These guys are not multi-millionaire sportsmen. You know, you can have your Formula One, you can have your NASCAR, your IndyCar. I will take the Red Bull Car Park Drift any day of the week, twice on Sunday, because today's Sunday. These guys do it for the passion. They don't do it for the money, and they definitely put some money into these cars. When you start seeing how many horsepower some of these cars have, and I have it here, one of these cars goes all the way up to over 800 horsepower. One car has 871 horsepower. Not that that means you're gonna win King of Drift just by having a bunch of horsepower. You can't do that. You can't cheat your way. You can't buy your way into it. There's a ton of skill that goes into this sport. And we'll talk about the course. We'll talk about all the things you need to do to make sure that you are the King of Drift. If you run a perfect ride through, doesn't mean you're gonna win. There's a lot of criteria that goes through this sport. It's not just your drift, it's also the look of your car. Judges, and we'll talk about the judges here in a little bit. The judges have already gone through the paddock before the event. They've looked at the cars, they've judged their look, just their curb appeal, really. Your drivers today, the age range, I found this very interesting. So this is it's not one of those sports where you have to be a really young man or a young woman to participate. You can pretty much be any age, but ages range from 41 years down to 20 years old. And one of our drifters today turned 20 like 2 weeks ago, meaning he was a teenager. I think like 13 days ago, he was a teenager. That's Anas Al Helo, representing Jordan. His car is 4 years older than he is. Oldest car, if you want to talk about the oldest car in the championship today, it's a 1986 BMW, driven by Sohail Asbah, representing Palestine. And if you're curious, since so the oldest, the newest, if I do the math, and a lot of these cars, obviously, a lot of people don't want to use their brand new car to rip around the Red Bull Car Park Drift. 2008 Mazda RX-8, driven by Hisham Al Khateeb, representing Egypt. Oh, what a great crowd. It is packed. 10,000 people capacity, and we're expecting it to completely fill up by the time we get underway, and we will get underway shortly as the drifters do get out of their vehicles and say hi to the crowd here in Istanbul. Looks like the clouds have kind of dissipated. Really, the weather doesn't mean a whole lot as long as it's pleasant. There we go. Fahim Reza, Keifa, one of my favorite names today. They're challenging me today. And next will be Ali Inal, representing Turkey. Now, when you host an event, when you host the Red Bull Car Park Drift, as we see Keifa Hello there, and it'll be Shahab Shanidar. He has drifted several years. Remember him from last year in Lebanon. When you host, when a country hosts the Red Bull Car Park Drift, they get 3 entries into the championships. As you see, Rifat Al Yahyai now, he is the only returning King of Drift. He won this 2 years ago in Kuwait City. He has been drifting 3 different times in the championship. Excellent drifter representing Oman. Yassin Legal. Yassin is representing Tunisia. As we move on to Anas Al Helo. Anas representing Jordan. And from KSA, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Khaled Al Zaeyd here. I love how they put their patriotism on their cars. Right there. And then Saif Yusuf He'll be representing Iraq in his BMW E36. Saif Yusuf there on the screen. Both Saudi and Iraq are wild card drifters. I'll explain what that is in a bit. Sohail Asbah. Sohail representing Palestine. And Mohammed Shehzad Soorabally. That flag, can you name that flag? That flag is Mauritius. Here all the way from the island of Mauritius. I love it. Always wonder how they get his car there. Yeah, you're right. They have to fly it. Ulku Ercoban. Nope. Ali Inal. The cars. Sometimes the cars will be switched up a little bit. They don't line up exactly right. I was expecting Ulku, who is our sole female drifter today. Ahmad Samir Abdul. He's representing the UAE. I have a soft spot in my heart for UAE. I've lived there for years. But I'm not allowed to cheer for anybody, I'm told. Mansour Abdul Latif. He's representing Morocco. Ibrahim Yucebas. Nope, that's Vakhtang Khurtsidze. Vakhtang representing Georgia. First time we've had Georgia in the Red Bull Car Park Drift World Championships, competing for the King of Drift. Fahad Al Jedei. Fadl's representing Kuwait. And Hisham Al Khateeb representing Egypt. Which I'm pretty sure there he is. I was gonna say, where are you, Hisham? There he is. Driving the Mazda RX-7. These guys want to get out. These guys want to get ready and drift here in Istanbul on this gorgeous Sunday. Big thanks to Falcon Tires helping us put this thing on. Falcon Tires, our big sponsor today. And there's Ibrahim Yucebas. I was expecting him earlier. He's representing Turkey. That's why he got that ovation. There she is, Ulku Ercoban. Ulku is going to be a crowd favorite, definitely. She's the second female ever to compete in the Red Bull Car Park Drift World Finals. Last year we had Noor from Palestine. This year Ulku is representing the ladies. And we can't wait to see. She's here along with the rest of the qualifiers and wild cards. As far as wild cards go, wild cards are chosen from the federation. So those who are deemed to be worthy of a wild card are sent forward, and then they get a chance. They get invited. They get a chance to come and show their skills as we hear the national anthem of Turkey.
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz sevgili motorsporları severler.
And there you have it, the national anthem of Turkey. First time ever for the car park drift to be in Turkey. And I really feel like, you know, we've got the addition of Georgia this year. I feel like we're taking over. We're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going east and west. Eventually, we'll have everybody. It's such a fun sport. If you've never seen it, you're in for a treat. It's just so cool. As you can kind of see right here, the judging criteria. As I said, the look of the car is very important and is worth 40 points, as you can see on your screen. The sound of the engine, the sound that they make while they're drifting is huge. And yes, the tire smoke. Tire smoke's very interesting because it doesn't actually have to be just white smoke. It actually can be different colors, and you'll see these guys get really creative with their tires. The pendulum, a fan favorite. Everybody loves to see the pendulum, and the flappers as well. So there are two flappers that you have to get with the back part of your bumper, and the pendulum as well. And that is not easy. You're drifting, you're trying to go sideways into that flapper, you're trying to go sideways with the rear of your car into that pendulum. And you either do it or you don't do it, and that's how you get those points. Everything else is kind of style. Don't hit any barrels, that's pretty important. You don't want to hit any barrels throughout the course. You don't want to hit any traffic cones. You don't want to hit any spectators. That will definitely lose you points. That hasn't happened. We've had very safe Red Bull car park drifts throughout. I think this is my fourth one, and there's never been an incident, and there's not going to be. I'm knocking on some wood here in Istanbul. And you can see Abdul is getting in his car. I believe he's going to do a little exhibition here. He's going to burn through this course. He'll probably be doing some selfies because that's what he does. The champion of this event is called the King of Drift. We don't usually say champion, we say King of Drift. Who will be the King of Drift? We'll find out in about 2 hours. Here are your judges. Alexander Grinchuk. Of course, a driver. Mad Mike Waddell is also one of your judges. Still trying to figure out exactly why they call him Mad Mike. He's very pleasant if you ever meet him in person. As we meet our 4 panelists on the jury. Hi guys. Also have Nicholas Dufour. And from Turkey, we always get a judge from Turkey on the panel. And it's Yagiz Avshi. Yagiz Avshi will be representing Turkey. And that guy pronounced it probably way better than I did. Again, if you're going to get us on social media, hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift. I know it's long, but we want to see your face watching us. We're watching you. As the parade of flags comes off. And the drifters start to get their cars warmed up a little bit, get ready for this. There were some nerves earlier in the paddock. Everybody trying to make sure that their car is tip-top, ready to go. Because once you get out on the course, there's no stopping things. As you see the running order there, we will start with Fahim Reza, Keifa. Again, my favorite name to say. It will. I hope he goes to the finals. I hope he gets to the end, because I just like saying that. I believe he's also the oldest. Not that it's a polite thing. Is it polite to say? I don't know. He's the oldest drifter today at 41 years old. But that means he's experienced, right? Driving the Nissan Silvia 200SX. If you're a motorhead, it has 850 horsepower. 850 horsepower coming out of that gate. Fahim Reza, Keifa will be your first drifter. As we get the track ready to go, doing a last minute couple of things, may have knocked down one of those walls. It's a beautiful day. 28 degrees? 28 degrees now in Istanbul. Wear your sunblock. was talking about the judging criteria. There are 2 sections of the course. Each section is divided into 60 points. And that's your drifting skills. That's where the drifting skills come into play. And what is that? Well, if you've never seen this, drifting isn't driving. It's not racing. We're not going against the clock here. It's all about style. It's style of drift. And to keep a drift, and I can talk about this all day. I'm lousy at it. I've tried it. You're trying to keep your car sideways. You try to keep those wheels spinning. And the only way to do that is to get really good speed and then crank the steering wheel and get into that. I mean, everybody's seen Tokyo Drift, right? A lot of these guys, that's where they got started. They're like, oh, I saw that in Fast and the Furious 2. I want to do that. So they start doing it on their own in their parking lots, which is illegal, of course. And so Red Bull years ago saw that and they thought, you know what we want to do? We want to give these guys a chance to explore their talents, explore their skills. As you see, Fahim Reza getting ready to do the very first run of the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. And so that's what happened. They started having qualifiers in these different countries around the Middle East at first, and now we're expanding. So many of these drifters today qualified in their home country or the country they're representing, and now they've made it into the championships, trying to find the king of drift.
Şampiyon oldu ve dünya finaline katılma hakkını elde etti. Fahim Reza koçları İranlı pilot. 850 beygir gücünde Nisa Sivyası.
And there will be just the occasional slowdown. We try to keep this going really fast. Once we get going, it's just insane. It's nuts. It's just like non-stop drifting. Occasionally there will be a little bit of slowdown if something on the course needs to be repaired. If we have a breakdown, unfortunately, sometimes that happens. The car will have to be cleared. Of course, safety is everything. These cars, not only fast, not only beautiful, but they're also very safe. If you see inside, you know, every one of these cars has to have a roll cage. There are many rules. As Fahim gets his car up, I'm just gonna call him Fahim, even though it's Fahim Reza. Representing Turkey, and you gotta love that. Your home country here in Istanbul. World Championship, trying to be the king of drift. Fahim Reza. Keiko Srave. And it says on his car, Reza Fahim. What does that mean? Get him on Instagram, Reza Fahim. Maybe Fahim Reza was taken. I'm guessing that, so he had to go, he had to reverse it. Oh, he's Reza Fahim 1. Couldn't even get Reza Fahim. He had to put a 1 on there. Find him on Instagram. He's probably live chatting right now on his Insta story. He's got a smile. He's ready to go. Ready to drift through this course. I haven't seen anybody do this course yet. So you and I will be watching this for the first time together and seeing exactly how this course plays out. And a lot of times you can't even judge after the first run how this course is going to be. Sometimes the first drifter will take it a little bit slower. Sometimes they'll go all out. But I guarantee there are people in all of the drifters' ears telling them, okay, you need to watch out for this, you need to watch out for that. As Fahim Reza gets this thing going around the first obstacle, keeping it pretty sideways, and that's the idea, keep it sideways. You don't want to stop though, and he did have a bit of a hesitation there, putting out a lot of good smoke as it is underway. Not too bad in that straightaway, though you do want to try to get a little bit more sideways. Seems like he has a lot of stick to his tires as he completely avoids the pendulum. That's gonna definitely cost him some points because he just decided to do a drive-by and say hello. He's through the barrels. He has stopped. Now he's back on. Okay, he definitely had a hesitation there. He's not gonna be happy with his run, I'm telling you right now. He's, it looks like he's having a good time. And I'm feeling like he may have actually just kind of decided to call it a day on the second half of that course. Not sure what happened there. If maybe he got confused. Sometimes you're out there, you get confused with the order of the course. He wasn't looking bad here. See in this replay, Looks like he's keeping it pretty sideways. You want to keep the front of that car really close and still, and the back you want to whip around those obstacles. And I think he maybe just got a little bit lost here. Like, where do you go? Somebody get him Google Maps. Do we have this on Google Maps? I wouldn't help me either. His mirror is flopping around. If you see his passenger side mirror is about to come off. And that'll lose you points with the judges on overall curb appeal. As Keifa Hello, Keifa Hello is already on. We missed his starting gate, but he is on now, representing Lebanon. And he's got some. See, when you lose all that traction, that's a good thing in the sport. As he got the pendulum, everybody loves it when you get the pendulum coming around. A little bit of hesitation there through the barrels. Don't hit any of those. That's important. Making his way over. I believe this will be the second section. There we go. Now you see this is called the box. He did not go through the box terribly well. Unfortunately, he just kind of drove a U-turn through it. That's not the way you want to do that. You want to do a complete circle in that box. Box number 2. And I say it like it's easy. It's not easy. He did better there. It wasn't great. Keifa Hello, representing Lebanon, going into the final corkscrew. And this will be the end. You got to put that flag up at the very end to stop your run. It looks like he's going around maybe an extra time or two. Keifa Hello, much better run. I don't want to compare to Fahim Reza. I don't want to do that, but he did have a much better run. And the judges will be looking at that. We'll get some scores. Scores do come in later, so we'll get scores a minute or two. It does take some time for the judges to put all their points together and get them to the officials, and then we get them at the end. And you won't really know exactly what a score means in the beginning until we start seeing some of these scores come back. But in the BMW E46, Keifa Hello, representing Lebanon, not bad. Not bad. He made his way through the course. That's what we can say. He got there. He got through. Again, if somehow you've gotten the English commentary and you're looking for the Arabic, I get it. Like I said, they're probably way more entertaining than me. Go to Red Bull TV on redbull.com. You can also get us on facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports, the Arabic commentary. Or you can stay with me. I'm fun. As you see, Shahab Shanidar, he's a pro. He's been here for years. Do you remember him from last year in Lebanon? Shahab driving the also BMW E46. As we get ready to go out of that starting gate. There may have been something on the course that needed to be adjusted. That may be why this little bit of a slowdown. And there we go. Shahab representing Oman. Check that, representing Iran. Representing Iran, Shahab Shanidar. Figure 8, well done. Want to get that sideways coming through that? There you go. Definitely got it sideways. This straightaway right here is going to be difficult because he pretty much just went straight. You do have a little bit of an option there as he tries to get that pendulum. I'm going to need to see a replay on that. I think he just may have missed that pendulum. I could not tell from the angle I have here in our studio. But the judges have a much better view than I do. Into the first box. That's how you do it. He did much better keeping that hood next to the barrel. Over to box number 2, getting in there. Not bad. I'm saying he could have done better. I think it's interesting. Shahab has a boom GoPro. I'm not sure. I think he's doing this more for the gram than for perhaps the King of Drift title. I've never seen. Oh, and I knew that first barrel was not going to make it. You could just tell. Nice little way of ending that in the corkscrew. I need to get a ruling on this. There is a flag and an exit gate at the end of that. In the previous years we've done this, the flag needs to be hit for the gate to come up and for the car to exit. I have not seen that thus far this year. But let me see if he hits that. Where do you hit that gate? If you can see in the replay. Shahab Shanidar out of Iran, representing Iran. Definitely nailed that barrel. He will lose points for that. Let's see that. If we can get a replay, hopefully we'll see the replay of the pendulum. Just want to see how well he hit that, and here that is. Did he get that pendulum? I think he missed it. I think from our angle it's difficult, but I'm pretty sure he missed that. You want to do a little bit better of getting your car, the rear end kind of swung around a little bit and hit that pendulum. Now your drifter number 4, we get a score there. Now we're finally getting scores. Where was my other scores? I missed my other scores. 177 points for Shahab. That was I believe that's a typo on the screen. That should be Shahab Shanidar, not Shabab. And this is Rifat. Now Rifat Al Yahyai. Now he is the most senior pro. He's been here 3 times. And he represents Oman, and he is your only returning king of drift. He won 2 years ago in Kuwait. Does that mean you should expect big things? Absolutely, because he is fantastic and a super nice guy. Rifat Al Yahyai through the figure 8 over to that straightaway. Not bad getting through that. A little bit sideways over to the pendulum. He's not going to miss that. He doesn't miss that. He's a pro. He's a returning king of drift. Through the straightaway. As he gets into box number 1. And over to the second box. He did pretty well in that first box. Box number 2. Did he nudge that barrel? I think he may have just given it a little bit of a nudge. It doesn't matter if you knock it down or give it a nudge. It still points off. They'll be looking at the replay for that. Into the flapper there. I think he missed that on the flapper on the corkscrew. Oh, that first barrel is gonna... I have a feeling that first barrel is really gonna pay the price. He does an extra little one, and yeah, he did get that flapper up at the end to get the release. You know what? He didn't even want to go out that gate. That gate is there for him. He thought, you know what? Nah, I'm a former king of drift. I can leave any place I want. Rifat Al Yahyai, representing Oman, trying to get his second king of drift title. As we get to look at that figure 8 of Rifat. He's driving the Nissan Silvia. And Rifat getting that score, and you can see where that will put him. Now, Yassin Legal, representing Tunisia. In the BMW E36, we're going to have a run of BMWs here. As Yassin starts his first drift on his hunt for the King of Drift title here in Istanbul, Turkey. Hits that flapper, no problem. Buzzes over to that pendulum. Makes it look pretty easy, not bad. Gets the full points there. Gotta go through those barrels. That's a tough turn. It's almost impossible not to stop a little bit, but I guarantee somebody's gonna show you how it's done. It's just a little bit of a hesitation there. Into the first box. pretty well. May have clipped that barrier into box number 2. Not bad. Speed is not a thing, although you don't want to slow down. That's the thing. We're not timing these drifters, but we're looking for them. And he missed that. I believe he missed that gate, that first gate. You want to get them both. See if he can. That's a hard needle to thread right there at the very end. But he did it very well. He actually went through that spiral very well. Didn't see him raise the gates. He may have. Difficult to see from my angle. My angle's a little bit different. That gate obviously is up. I think he may have missed one of the gates. And if you don't get them both, I believe then you have to leave in disgrace. You do the drive of shame. The drift of shame out of the spiral. You have to go out the entrance. Not a bad run. If I had to guess, I'd say that's going to put him somewhere in the middle of the pack, maybe upper middle of the pack, representing Tunisia, Yassin Legal. Yassin, that's a 1992 BMW E36. Yassin, 24 years old. As we get ready for your next drifter, it is, I believe this will be Anas Helo. It is, and this is your youngest, I believe this is your youngest drifter in today's championship. I believe he turned 20 2 weeks ago, meaning 14 days ago he was a teenager. So representing Jordan, Anas Helo. Running through the figure 8. Got to do a complete circle around each one of those obstacles in that figure 8. And then got that first flapper, which is pretty easy, but you still want to be sideways. Going for the pendulum right here. And he did clip that pendulum, so that will get him the full points there. Coming through the straightaway of barrels. A tricky obstacle. It's an easy one, but it's a tricky obstacle to get in and not stop. He's gonna come around to the first box. Little bit of a hesitation around that barrel. He drives a lot better than I did when I was 20. How do you even do that? Legal age driving, I imagine, as most countries around here, like in Jordan, I imagine it's 18. How do you learn to drive like this? How do you drift like this? As he clips that first gate very well. I'm very impressed, I gotta say. Can we check his ID, please? He got the second one, no problem. I'm gonna say Anas Helo representing Jordan. I'm gonna say so far that is the drift of the day. I know we're early, we're only 6 drifters in, but that was very well done. I don't believe he lost any points that I could tell. I think he hit all the flappers. I know he hit the pendulum, and he hit those 2 gates at the end in the spiral. That was a really nice run, and his car looks great. I'm very jealous. I'm jealous of this almost teenager. Anas Helo, BMW E46. Is his car older than he is? It's a 2003, so his car is about 4 years younger than he is. All right. Imagine being a 4-year-old as he gets a 373. Nice score. I believe that will put him so far in the lead. And we're already in. We were so fascinated with Anas, we weren't even paying attention. Khaled Al Zaeyd, representing Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He was a wild card. He did not compete. He was nominated by the Federation to be a wild card. That doesn't make him any less worthy of the King of Drift? He did miss the pendulum, though. I will say that makes him less worthy of King of Drift, though. You can't miss that pendulum. Everybody loves it when somebody nails that thing. You just got to hit it. It kind of means maybe you don't know the dimensions of your car as well as maybe you should. As he gets into that box, did that really well, though. And you can see a drone flying around there. I hope that's supposed to be there. It's just not a fan. Good job through those boxes. He may have done that better than anybody I've seen. That was really, really well done. Both of those boxes going to get him some points. If he can make it through this spiral, and he didn't. He didn't keep it sideways. And it looks like he must have hit. Did he hit the barrel? How did that barrel get out there? Did that barrel go walking? Well, it made a nice door. You know what? There are good things and bad things about that run, but that's cool. Khaled Al Zaeyd driving the BMW E46, representing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a wild card. As we see some replays, you may see him whiff on the pendulum. I realize I do give people a bit of a hard time. Looks like he's got some damage from a barrel there on the right rear quarter panel and bumper. I'm guessing that happened against a barrel, or possibly, no, one of the barriers, probably. Maybe when he did one of the previous runs. I didn't see him really nail anything on the course that would do that kind of damage. Again, judges just before the event judged the look of the car. I'm gonna guess some rear end damage might lose you some points. Saif Yusuf. He is also a wild card driver representing Iraq in another BMW E36. And that is a 1995. Yusuf, 27 years old, out of Iraq. Excuse me, Saif. Did I say Yusuf? I said Yusuf. I'm in Saif. As we get ready, I think they had to replace those barrels from earlier. A couple of barrels started to walk away, so we had to make sure that everything is back to normal. You can see the traffic jam, all the other drifters getting ready for their runs. Fortunately, it's a nice day. And you know what? I think a lot of these cars still have their air conditioning, I'm guessing. So that's all right. It's a nice day today, though. 28 degrees. As yes, little tongue out there. Thanks to the crowd at home. There is a bit of a hold here in Istanbul as we get the course ready. Could be a number of things. Just want to make sure everybody is safe. Thank you again for checking us out on Red Bull TV and on Facebook. Hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift. If you're using us on social media, make sure you say hi. We'll say hi back to you maybe. And I also know this is airing on television as well, on a satellite, so they must make sure that all the timing works out. We're just we're here on the internet. We got no timing. We're ready to go, and he is ready to go. Here we go. Saif is making his run through the figure 8. And making it look pretty easy. A little bit of a hesitation. Pretty much straight away. I don't think he even got that flapper, even though he was going full on head into it. That's not how you do it, but oh, and he missed the pendulum by about an inch. Oh, he's gonna be disappointed. Coming through the straightaway of barrels. And he's gonna make his way to the first box. If he can find it, we learned earlier, it's not the easiest thing to find. Oh, he bumped the barrel. Gonna lose some points on that. He is a wild card. Again, not that that means he isn't a great drifter. Although he's gonna have to put it in reverse here. Oh, if you have, okay, I think that might be the first reverse of today's competition. Try not to put your car in reverse. That will definitely cost you some points. this is Saif's first Red Bull Car Park Drift final. And nerves do come into play. This is the biggest competition you're ever going to find for a drifter in the world. He missed both gates, and he's just happy to get this one over with. Saif Yusuf Jayed, representing Iraq, wild card, first ever. He'll be back. I'm not saying he's not going to make the final cut for the next round. I'm just saying. Actually, we go through 2 rounds, and everybody drifts in both rounds. I think it's been a year since my last car park drift. Like I said, I'm a fan, like everybody else. And I will tell you exactly how that happens as I find out. I have an entire team. I don't know how, but I have an entire team feverishly working. It's like, oh, can we Google that? Go back to last year's car park drift. Let me just fire up the video. I think the live stream stays around forever, so you can check out all the Red Bull car park drifts, and they are entertaining. They're all on YouTube on the Red Bull channel. And on Facebook, facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. Thanks, guys, for hosting us. RedBull.com, of course. If you are looking for the Arabic, if you're like, wow, this guy is really annoying, I would just like to hear it in Arabic. RedBull.com. Check out Red Bull TV and Facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. But why would you want to leave me? We're having a party. As we check out a lot of replays. We're getting a lot of replays. I'm guessing that means because he did a bit of damage to the course. 91 points. Saif, unfortunately, 91 points is not going to do him much. As we get ready for Sohail Asbah, I believe, also BMW E30 representing Palestine. He is a wild card as well. And there will be a little bit of a pause. Okay, so the first heat, everybody drifts. We will pair our 18 drivers down, our 18 drifters. We will pair them down to 8 for the next heat. So this is heat number 1. Everybody drifts, but we will be losing 10 of our drifters. And thank you for that, Google. Google is fantastic, knows everything. Sohail Asbah, representing Palestine, a wild card. Can I tell you, I just said something about Google and my phone went off. Only in the Red Bull Car Park Drift, come on. So, you gotta get that. Yes, he got the pendulum. I think the pendulum was getting lonely. Pendulum was getting very lonely, and Sohail nailed it. Come on, wild cards. I want a wild card to get to the finals this year. Is that possible? Just had a dream. Is this the 1986 BMW? I believe it is. This is the oldest one. Yeah, Sohail's got the 1986 BMW. But check it out, 780 horsepower. That thing is a monster. A monster in a little bitty package. And the sound that he's putting out from that thing, you can tell he's put a lot of effort in to the exhaust to make it give it all those pops. I don't think he did much as far as the gate flappers there. Be careful on those extra little loops around you don't hit a barrel. Not a terrible run, especially for a wild card. Sohail Asbah representing beautiful Palestine. The wild card will wait for his score. And we'll get all the scores. We'll get all the scores after this first heat. We'll see where everybody stands. I would love like a running scorecard though to keep things in perspective to see how these guys are doing so far. And when I say I'd love one, hopefully we'll get one. Sohail got that pendulum. Pendulum itself is either 0 points or 60 points. It's a lot. The pendulum is really other than the drifting itself, the style of drifting, the pendulum is worth the most, but it's an either or. Either you hit it or you don't. 261 points, not bad, actually. I bet that moves him on to the, I'm guessing, who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to say we'll probably get him to heat number 2. The Elite 8 drifters getting into that second heat.
Okay, Ahmed, first of all, welcome in Istanbul. A few minutes later, you will on a track and all seats almost full. And how about your feelings about your show?
Honestly, that's my first time in being in Istanbul, and the weather is so nice. I'm so happy being in the Red Bull Car Park of the World Finals, and I'm so excited to be in the track, and wish us luck, all of us.
Okay, we wish you good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, there you go, Ahmad Samir. Little trackside interview. I like that. I want more of that. Can we have more of that throughout the broadcast today? Shehzad Soorabally out of Mauritius. And he's driving, if you've never been to Mauritius, they drive on the left side of the road. They have a right-hand side car, so I think he'll be the only one with a right-side driver car in this Red Bull Car Park Drift, which I don't know if that really does anything. It might actually make it more challenging for him. Maybe it's possible it could give him some sort of advantage. I don't know if that's true. It'd be interesting to see, though. I didn't notice that last year. He was with us in Lebanon last year. Shehzad was, as we get the track ready. We are having just a tiny technical issue with the scores. Normally we would post those as we go, but we're going to post those at the end of the round here, end of the heat number 1. So if you're playing at home, just make notes. Make some notes. And he gets the thumbs up, so I believe we are about ready to get Shehzad representing Mauritius into this thing. He's an experienced pro. This is not his first barbecue. I remember last year he did surprise us a bit. And why did he surprise us? Because he's from an island nation. Maybe, perhaps. I love Mauritius. Go, if you ever get a chance to go to Mauritius. Oh, it's gorgeous. I would never leave. Unless it was maybe to come to the Red Bull Car Park Drift in beautiful Istanbul. Shehzad making his way. Went pretty straight through that. I think he's trying to build up some speed for this. Wow, he is flying on this course. Dude, somebody tell Shehzad this is not a race. He did, oh, big stop there. Okay, he hit a barrier. That will cost him some points. He did get that pendulum, which is important. But in his excitement to blast his car, can I get what are the horsepower on this thing? Can I get a ruling on it? Okay, he's through the first box. And didn't do too badly. Getting into box number 2, Shehzad. He just has a thing for those barriers, I think. He knocked a few of them around again. That'll cost him more points. Missed the spiral entrance. And for the second time in heat number 1, someone has had to throw their car in reverse. You can just tell he's angry. That's angry driving right there. Listen to that engine go. Shehzad Soorabally representing Mauritius. Get that gate. Missed both gates. He's not going to be happy. He lost some points. And he's going to get out of there hoping that it's enough to get him through to heat number 2. It's going to be a tough one. We have a Turkish stream as well, which is awesome. There's a Turkish and Arabic stream on Red Bull TV. If you want to check it out, redbull.com, go to Red Bull TV. You will see the feed. Another first. This is a year of firsts. The first Turkish stream of the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Not coincidentally, we are here in beautiful Istanbul, Turkey. Now the crowd is cheering, and I'm gonna say the crowd is going a little bit crazy. Ulku Ercoban. Ulku is our one and only female drifter today, and she is gonna be a crowd favorite. She was a wild card, representing the city of Nicosia. As Shehzad gets a disappointing 106 points. Not going to get him into that second heat, I'm guessing. He just hit too many things. He hit too many things, and the big problem, he missed the entrance to the spiral. He had to put it in reverse. It's not good. As you see, Ulku, she's driving a Nissan Silvia. She is a wild card. Ulku Ercoban. I like that paint job. And she is off. Let's see what she's got. This is cool. Going through the figure 8. Oh, she can drive. You can tell right now she can drive. We already knew she could drive though, right? She wouldn't be here trying to be the king of drift. Would she be the queen of drift if she wins this thing? Got that flapper. That was great. She hit that nicely. Swinging around. Gonna try for that pendulum. Come on, girl. Hit that pendulum. From this angle, I actually did not see if she hit the pendulum. I'm gonna say I don't think she did, but we're not sure. We're gonna have to see what the replay shows. Did not get into the box on the first try. Threw it in reverse. She's gonna have to whip around that barrel. She hit barrier a little bit. That'll cost her some points. Of course, she's losing points on the drifting skill and also for hitting the barrier and having to throw in reverse. Better through that box. Did I see? I think she might even have a little front end damage from hitting the barrier earlier. I'm not sure. Yep, she's her front fairing, the front bumper is dangling in front of her. She makes her way through the spiral. Did she miss that? I think she went twice through the outside edge of the spiral. Hit a couple of barrels. Ulku. Just take them all out while you're there. Come on. Ulku Ercoban. Look at that car. I just kind of love that anyway. She tore it up. She did her thing. That's okay. I think she should get out of the car, pull it off, and give it to a fan. Give somebody a souvenir. So, Ulku, she's representing the females in the city of Nicosia. And she is 20 years old, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I believe she's 20. She's the second youngest. Yeah, she missed that pendulum. Unfortunately, that's going to lose her 60 points right there. I wanted to see her. I really did want to see her move on to the next round. I got a feeling. I got a funny feeling she's not going to make it to heat number 2. Only 8 drifters will make it to heat number 2. There's where the front end damage probably kind of happened. Yeah, you're gonna have to see your insurance provider about that one. I like the lights on the headlights. You got a little red-blue action going on there. A little cool. She drove the Nissan Silvia. Was a wild card, and that's it for the wild card so far in the first heat. Everyone else will have earned their spot in a qualifier. A very similar event. Not as big, not as bold, not as extravagant as this one, but everyone had a qualifier in their home country or the country they're representing. You know what? She was trying to whip around a little bit and get that last gate, and that's where she hit those barrels. It's a very close, it's just a very close thing. It's a very difficult thing. They got those barrels right next to the flapper, and that's why you got to know the dimensions of your car. It does help a little bit. In a way, sometimes it helps to have a little bit longer of a car, so you just can kind of bump those things, but you just got to know, the dimensions. It's kind of like trying to get your car into a small parking spot.
First of all, welcome to Istanbul. And are you ready to burn track a few minutes later?
We are ready about after 4 months. Yeah, we are ready now. It's very excited for all the people here, and yeah, we're ready, inshallah.
And how about your feelings?
I have little pressure, not too much, but I'm excited for go inside for the track and inshallah do the best.
Good luck, Fahad. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Fahad Al Jedei doing his trackside pre-drift interview. He'll be coming up in just a couple of minutes as we get to Ali Inal. Ali is representing the hometown, Turkey, here in Istanbul. And yes, I know, Turkey is not a town. I was referring to Istanbul. I know what you're thinking. I know you. Getting ready to get in, and should get a really good response from the 10,000 in attendance here in Istanbul. Got to turn those lights on. I saw those lights. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I got my lights on. I got my cool paint job. I got my Nissan 200 SX. And he is off into that figure 8 right away. 2 complete turns around each one, and then he'll be off to that straightaway with a couple of flippers. You say flippers, I say flappers. Hit that first one, but he hit it with the front. He missed the second flapper. You really need to hit these. Oh, and he missed the pendulum. That pendulum, for some reason, is causing people a lot of problems this year. Last year in Lebanon, we did not really have this many people miss that thing because it's so important. It's such an important part of the course. And really, I think they make it 60 points because everybody wants to see it hit. It's just fun. When you get to see a giant yoga ball getting smashed by a car and it's legal, that just doesn't happen. Second box, that is a night. That was a perfect drift through that box. He's actually, if he wouldn't have missed that pendulum, he was actually having a really good drift here. Making his way through, nicely done. That spiral is hard, and he did it so far really well. Nice, such a good run. What a shame he missed the pendulum. Had he hit the pendulum, I'd say he's guaranteed coming through that second heat, and he may still yet. I don't want to overemphasize the importance of the pendulum. It is important. But just because you miss it doesn't mean you're not going to. How many GoPros does he have? How many GoPros does one guy need on his car? I got one for the family, one for the friends. I believe we have a drone down on the course, so that's gonna have to be cleaned up. What? We let the batteries go out? Be careful. Ali Inal representing Turkey. Well, home country here. Nissan 200 SX. The 37-year-old, not the car, although the car is from 93. Only 400 horsepower, as you see a score, 224 points, not bad. That actually may get him. I'm gonna say right now, I don't know because I don't have a list. We have a little technical difficulty getting the full scores up, but I believe that's gonna put him in the top 8 so far. Not bad. That's actually a really good score for missing the pendulum. See, if he would have hit that pendulum, 100% going through the second heat, but not yet. As you're catching some of the replay of that pretty decent run. And this is Ahmad Samir Al Adil. And the Nissan Silvia representing the United Arab Emirates with the thumbs up. And there are a lot of drifters in the UAE and a lot of people watching this right now. As Ahmad makes his way through the figure 8. Hit that barrel. He actually hit the barrel trying to go for that flapper, and that'll cost him some points. I'm not even sure he actually got both flippers there. Trying to get that pendulum, didn't keep it sideways. Did he miss that pendulum? I think he missed the pendulum. This is one of those sports where you blink and you miss it. And I blink a lot. Into the first box, Ahmad. Pretty good, pretty good. That first box is much more difficult, it appears, than the second box. It's all about that entry position. This is a much easier entry position. That was a really, really nice cruise through the second box. He's having a good run. I'm not sure about that pendulum. Into the final spiral. Looks like he did get that first gate. Yes, he did. And missed the second. Lost that drift a little bit. He just lost his, unfortunately lost his concentration a little bit into that drift. He did take a second round. I'm not sure if that still counts. If you have to take another run around the spiral to get that gate, I know the judges will definitely take some points off. But Ahmad Samir, representing the UAE, gonna check out his score momentarily as the judges get it through. Take a look at some of the replays here. We'll see if he did get that. If he got the pendulum, this is gonna be a really good score. Did he hit that barrel? That's why right there, he didn't lose concentration. There was a barrel in his way trying to get that gate, that final gate, or one of the final gates, and that's why he lost it. He just didn't want to hit the barrel, which was a smart move, actually. So you might lose a little bit of your drifting points, maybe, but you'll definitely lose points if you hit that barrel. Thanks, guys, for giving me this replay. He did miss it. That was a huge whiff, but 234 points for Ahmad Samir. You know what? That might make his way into the final 8. We will find out. Time will tell, you know? As we make our way, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more drifters to go in this first heat. You like how I count them down for you?
Thank you.
Waiting on that
Hisham,
score.
first of all, welcome to Istanbul. And are you ready to race?
Yeah, ready, very ready.
And what's your plan for influence the jury, holy jury?
My plan is to make what I can do. My plan is to be proud of myself and make all the Egyptians proud. That's my plan for today.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, bye.
That's Hisham Al Khateeb. He's representing Egypt. He will be our final drifter in the first heat. Doing his trackside interview. Mansour Abdul Latif, qualified in Morocco and representing Morocco. In the BMW E36, Abdul Latif Al Mansour goes through the figure 8. A little bit of a hesitation there. The idea is you really do want to kind of keep it smooth and keep it sideways and keep it moving. Even keeping it moving is a difficult thing. He missed that first flapper. That'll cost him a little bit. Kind of a little bit out of control trying to get it on the sideways track there. He's more straight than sideways. He's going to try to hit that, and he did. That's worth 60 points. He did hit it. I love seeing these older BMWs with those huge spoilers on the back. In this case, they're actually, you know, something you need to have. Keep the rear end on the ground. Taking his leisurely time. Unfortunately, you could kind of tell as he entered that first box, and it is a difficult one, you could kind of tell he was going to lose speed, and he ended up stopping, which is not great, but he didn't hit anything. Better on that second box. Through the straightaway there to get to the spiral. Keeping it sideways through the spiral, not too bad. This is kind of a decent run until he took out 2 barrels. Trying to get to that gate, the little flapper on that gate, people are taking out barrels. And that will lose you points. As we check out the replay, Abdul Latif Al Mansour representing Morocco here in the Red Bull Car Park Drift. The criteria, if you missed it earlier, there are, as he takes out those barrels. You know, it's not good to take out barrels, but it's fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody gets hurt except the barrels. They've got good insurance, health and dental. So the criteria, the car looks gets you 40 points, 0 to 40. So it's important to make sure your car looks the part. Drifting skills is 120 points. As he did hit that pendulum very nicely, and actually took the pendulum off. Not extra points if you take the pendulum off. In fact, now somebody's gonna have to go out there and hook it back up. That kind of gives us a little delay. Drifting skills. So the first section of this course, 60 points, up to. Second section, up to 60 points. So 120 points right there just for your drifting. The first box is up to 30 points, 0 to 30. Second box, same, 30 points there. The pendulum, 0 points if you don't hit it, 60 points if you do. The sound of the car is worth 15 points. Not a lot, but it's something. Tire smoke also, which we haven't had a lot of today. Tire smoke is worth 15 points, 0 to 15. It's all judged by our 4 panelists, right? The first flapper is 0 or 30 points. You know, you either hit it or you don't. So 30 points for those flappers, each one. Flapper 1, flapper 2, 30 points each. And the spiral gate, 0 or 15 points. Each one of those gates at the end of the spiral, 0 or 15 points. So those are your criteria. There are points taken off for hitting barrels and barriers. I'm not exactly sure how many points. That may be up to the judges, but I know they take it off. As we see Ibrahim Yucebas. Ibrahim is representing Turkey today. Another hometown hero. And he is on a right side driver as well. As Ibrahim Yucebas takes off into his convertible. This may be the only convertible in the Red Bull Car Park Drift today. Drifting his way through that figure 8 is Ibrahim, driving the Toyota Soar. A Toyota Soar. Nice sound. One of the few cars that's really put out a lot of sound. As he takes out the pendulum again. Poor pendulum. He's gonna need a vacation. That pendulum is gonna need a vacation after this is over. I kind of like this run. Look at this. Ah, I did. As soon as, am I bad luck? As soon as I say I like a run, somebody does something wrong. He took out some barriers in that box. The first box is the hardest one. Did this one very nicely. I still like this run. Giving a little love to the crowd, I love that. It's probably not recommended to put your hands outside your car during your heat, but you know, I like it. Giving a little love to the fans. He's representing Turkey. Got both those gates. That spiral, actually, that was really good. He did a nice run. He just took out a couple of barricades, but you know what? I think you're going to see Ibrahim in heat number 2, the Elite 8 drifters, giving a wave. It's like he's just taking a Sunday drive. Yeah, come on. Trying to get the crowd a little hyped up. And they're into it. There you go. As we see a replay of Ibrahim's run, and there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot of things, you know, that first box, we're kind of finding out, as I said earlier, you kind of find out throughout the first, oh, look at that drone. That drone, somebody needs to give that guy an award. That drone action is really good. You're kind of at 352 points. That's excellent. That is a great score. He will definitely, I'm going to say he's definitely going to be in heat number 2 with that score. Is Ibrahim Yucebas representing Turkey. Vakhtang Khurtsidze, probably my second favorite name to say today, driving the BMW M3. Now he's representing Georgia, another of the new countries represented today at the Red Bull Car Park Drift Finals. Wanting to bring it home to Georgia. He's got a white helmet, which means he's got some space for sponsorship. So if you're looking, there's a completely white helmet. Making his way through the figure 8. I like this. Already, I don't know why, but I got a good feeling about this run. Come on. Again, I can't support anybody. Hit that first flap good. That was a, see, he's keeping it sideways. This dude knows what he's doing. So far, this is my favorite run. This is a good run. Making Georgia proud. Again, I should stop saying that because as soon as I say positive things about a drifter, they start having problems through the first and most difficult of the boxes. You know what? He did it about as well as anybody has so far. Second box. And a bit of a hesitation there. We've seen better in that second box, definitely today. Coming over to the final spiral. Gets gate number 1. That's good for 15 points. We'll see if he can get in that inner circle without hitting a barrel, and he did. That was a nice run. It was one of the best runs of the day. We'll see where it puts him on the leaderboard. Vakhtang Khurtsidze representing Georgia. Nice run. As we get a little bit of a replay on that. I really liked in the beginning he had his drift down. Nobody came out of the gate, I don't think, and really got through these obstacles without hesitation and still keeping it sideways, and he did a nice job. And still plenty of room on that helmet for sponsorships. I'm just saying, hey, Falcon Tires, you need a guy. Get on that helmet. That's just wasted space. Why is he even wearing a helmet? Oh, right, they have to. They have to wear helmets, right. 357 points, excellent score. Knew that was going to happen. He is definitely going to be making it to the top 8. And we're getting down to it. 2 more drifters left. Fahad Al Jedei representing Kuwait. The host country of the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2 years ago, Kuwait City. Fahad driving the Nissan Silvia. Drifter number 18. If you've been counting, we have 19 total spots. We actually have 18 drivers, but we don't say 13 in this business. I'm just saying. There is no 13th drifter. As Fahad waits for the signal. Keeping that car kind of a little simple. Got the got the Facebook, got to get that Facebook name on there. As we are underway with Fahad starting off in the Nissan Silvia representing Kuwait. Not bad through the figure 8. And we may have our first mechanical difficulty. I'm going to say something, I don't know if he stalled it or there's actually something that's happened to the car. And that is a shame. That is going to be a DNF. Did not finish. Fahad Al Jedei out of Kuwait. Big hello to everyone watching in Kuwait on redbull.com and on facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. And they're going to have to push him off. It does look to be a mechanical issue. As we see, what a strong crowd of 10,000 packing in here at Istanbul, Turkey. Right next to the water, gorgeous day, 28 degrees, sunny, just a couple of clouds in the sky. Perfect day, slightly windy, perfect day for drifting here at the 2019 Red Bull Car Park Drift, our 9th championship. We will have a new King of Drift this year, as last year's King of Drift did not qualify for the championship today. We do have one returning king. He's Rifat Al Yahyai from Oman. He's looking to get his second King of Drift title. We'll see if he makes it to heat number 2. We still haven't had that scoreboard. As we get a DNF, did not finish from Fahad. Just got through the figure 8, looked like he was doing great, and then something happened, and we don't know what it was. But he will not be returning. Made his way to Turkey. He got a trip to Turkey out of it. That's not bad, right? Hisham Al Khateeb, our final drifter of heat number 1, driving the Mazda RX-7 and representing Egypt. And I know a lot of Egypt fans right now are watching Hisham. He is the sole Egyptian in this competition today. And there are millions of Egyptians right now saying, come on, Hisham, you can do this. You can get into heat number 2. You can become the King of Drift. He's got a great looking car, I will say that. That Mazda RX-7. And Hisham is underway, and you can tell he's definitely been working on that exhaust to get those points. The sound of your car. It's only worth 15 points, but you have to take every single point you can get. And look at the smoke. Now we're there. 15 points for smoke as well. He's gonna get them all. My guess, from the judges. Making his way through the flippers and definitely hit the pendulum. Hit it right off its little stem through the straightaway of barrels. Doing a really nice run, actually. This is how it's done. If you ever wanted to drift, if you wanted to learn how to drift, watch that. That was probably the best run through the first box that we've seen so far today. That was pretty good. Just a little hesitation, but he kept it so nicely sideways. It's not about speed, it's about finesse and drifting it through, keeping it sideways. As he makes his way through the spiral, if he can not hit barrels, I'd say he's definitely going to be making his way to heat number 2. Ah, just hit a barrel. Just barely nudged that barrel. But you know what? That was a nice run. That was a really nice run as the crowd here in Istanbul gives him a big ovation. That was nice. Representing Egypt, Hisham Al Khateeb, driving the Mazda RX-7. And he just shut it down. He decided to shut it down. He's getting out. I don't know if he's taking... Yeah, he's... I don't think he's had any mechanical issues. He's just showing off. Or is he? There may be an issue. He may actually have had an issue. I couldn't blame him. You couldn't blame him, right? He's the last drifter of the heat. Just, hey, I had a great run. I'm going to stand up on my car. But he may actually have some sort of mechanical issue. And he had a good run. I would say that run would put him in the final 8. We're going to get a rundown of all the scores from all the drifters here in a second. So if he does have enough points to make it through, hopefully whatever issue he had, if he had an issue, gets resolved. And they do have a chance. Just because you break down at the end, if you got enough points, they'll give you the opportunity to fix that car back in the paddock and get back on the circuit if you can. But there you go. Heat number 1 here in Istanbul is complete. All 18 of our drifters today vying for King of Drift. Sadly, we're going to have to say goodbye to 10 of them. Will any of our wild cards make it through? That's a question. Will our only returning King of Drift champion return? Rifat Al Yahyai, representing Oman. Will our only female make it through? Ulku Ercoban. I'm going to say probably not. 378 points. Great score for Hisham. He will definitely be in the second heat, assuming his car will run. And there's always some kind of drama. There's always some kind of awesome drama like this. Will the car work? Will the drifters show up? The answer is yes, he'll show up. Will the car? We have in the past had issues where the car gets to the starting line and refuses to go. And what do? You just push the car back and say, sorry guys, had so much fun in Istanbul. We'll see you next year. As you see a great shot of beautiful Istanbul separating the east from the west. We are on the Asian side of Istanbul today doing the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Celebrating the 9th year of this championship, and it's just getting bigger and better every single year. It's so much fun. Was I lying when I said it was fun? I was not lying. It is just a fun motorsport. You're not going to see this in F1. You're not going to see it in NASCAR. You're not going to see it anywhere except here, Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019 King of Drift. Who will it be? We're going to find out. We have a second heat of 8 drifters, and from those 8, 4 will compete for the King of Drift title. There will be 3 spots. There'll be 3 spots. It's so sad. There are 3 spots in the final. You get the podium there, kind of like the Olympics, you know, but one of those drifters sadly doesn't get on the podium. And one gets the King of Drift title, gets to celebrate in front of this 10,000 strong audience here in Istanbul today. As to get a nice shot of the course. Been a pretty safe event today. Going to continue to be so. We're always very careful that safety is the #1 priority for these drifters, as any motorsport, right? And this is, I'm excited for this. So, Abdul Fagali, if you missed the first part of this stream, Abdul Fagali is a world record holder in drifting. He's the chairman of the Red Bull Car Park Drift. He's the director, and he's also holds the world's record for the longest drift. In the Guinness Book of World Records, you will find his name, the longest ever drift. He kept that drift going. And I'm going to get a number. I'm going to try to get a number how long Abdul Fagali's world record drift was. Is incredible. But he's gonna jump into this car right now. It's called a Tofaş. It's well, he's coming up. I saw it back there. It's behind this driver. Right now we've got a drifter who is going to show off his skills. As I get Abdo did the record drift, 11,180 meters of continuous drifting. Let me say that again. 11,180 meters of continuous drifting. That is over 11 kilometers of drifting, and that's why it's a world record. That is incredible. This is, I believe this is Abdo in his Red Bull car, giving someone a ride of their life. So what they've done, they've gotten the Tofaş ready to go, the vintage Tofaş, and this is Abdo showing off. So this is about as good as it's gonna get in drifting. Abdo Fagali out of Lebanon. He's got a passenger in there, so I've done this. I've actually ridden with Abdo before as he does this. It's insane. It's better than any roller coaster you're ever gonna be on. If you ever get a chance to get into a car with Abdo, I highly recommend it. It's a good time. And he doesn't even, as we saw earlier in the parade, he doesn't even need to really have his arms in the car to drift. Look at that. Little coordinated wave. He's good. He's very good. Come on, I want to see, yeah, I want to see him go through the spiral. Can we see what his, he's not going to do it. Oh, that was nice. Look at that. Did you see that? That's how you exit the Red Bull Car Park Drift. And now you see why he's one of the best drifters in the world, world record holder. And I think he's going to give somebody else a bit of a ride. As the car gets a little inspection, make sure everything's cool. Again, safety always first. Big thanks again to our sponsor, Falcon Tires, keeping us going, keeping us on the road. As they spray something in the front of Abdo's car. Abdo been riding drifting for Red Bull for years. And one of our favorite people around here. Just a good guy, family guy. As getting one of our passengers buckled up into Abdo's car, his Red Bull car, and these spots, sometimes prize winners, VIPs, getting a chance. As if you're just checking in with us, thank you so much for checking out the live stream of the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. English, thank you. We are on the English feed, but you know what? If you want Arabic or Turkish this year, which is awesome, you can check out Red Bull TV on redbull.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. So English, Turkish, and Arabic, a few different options. But we thank you for whatever language you're streaming us in. We thank you so much for taking a part, being with us. Should I judge Abdul? He's going through the course. That's a nice run. He had both the flappers. I wonder if he feels pressure. I wonder if he's still nervous. Because he knows people are watching him. Like, aha, Mr. Guinness Book of World Records. Aha. He's got skill. He's not following all the instructions though. He's kind of coloring outside the lines. Go through that box. That's not easy. Oh, look at that. Look how easy he made it though. That's just incredible. And you're probably wondering, oh, well, you know, if he's so good, why isn't he competing? Well, he's a pro. He's like the director of the sport. It's like an official title. And plus, you know, he doesn't want to show up all the other drifters. Abdul Fagali, director of the Red Bull Car Park Drift, showing that he's not just some suit from the office. He lives that sport. He's been a stunt driver, I know, in television series and movies. He's well known in the sport, as you can see why. And he keeps that Nissan looking so good. Is that a 370? I think that's the Nissan 370Z. And that is just off the top of my head. So if it's a 350, I'm sorry. Somebody say, no, not a 370, 350. But I think it's a 370, right? Beautiful run by Abdul Fagali. Not in the competition today. Lebanon was the, Abdul is from Lebanon, and Lebanon was the first place that ever did the Red Bull Car Park Drift. And in fact, as Abdul waves to the crowd here in Istanbul, last year we were in Lebanon as well, beautiful Beirut. As the crowd returns their love, 10,000 strong here in Istanbul. As we await heat number 2, and we will, I promise, get you the scores, all the scores for heat number 1, so we can find out exactly who made it through, the top 8 drifters. Big thanks to our reporter on the ground. Once in a while, we're having some interviews, and I love those interviews. I think this is my 4th year doing this, and I don't think we've had these kind of cool interviews behind the scenes in the paddock as the drifters get ready to go. Our reporter on the ground is Kubra Ertug. So Kubra, thank you so much for doing the hard work you do. Whenever she just shows up on the screen, I shut up so she can do her thing, and it's so cool. And we have more of that. Now, Abdul is going to go back and we're going to do this. Now, I don't know the year of this car. The make of it, though, is the Tofaş. It is built by Fiat. It is a Turkish car. And so Abdul is going to go through here, and he's going to do, I believe he's going to do a full run in the Tofaş. And it's going to be something to see. The cars you've seen so far today, they are built specifically to drift. The Tofaş has not. The Tofaş is designed to be a nice little road car. And while some of these cars, these drifting cars, they kind of look like a car you might drive on the road, they are not. You certainly can. You'll notice a lot of license plates on the drifting cars today, so you can obviously drift them, or drive them legally. but some of these cars have upwards of 800 plus horsepower. We've got at least 3 cars with 800 or more horsepower. And that's a little more you need driving down the road. Go to the store, pick up some Red Bull. It'll get you there. It'll get you there fast. And that is a nice look at that Fiat Tofaş. It's a 4-door. I think this might be the only 4-door we see in the competition today. No, this is not in the competition. This is for exhibition only. This is so fun to see, though. Let's see what Abdul can do. Let's see if Abdul can get this thing sideways. This is gonna get a nice little response from the crowd. Is he gonna drift it? Is he? Or is it just gonna be a nice little cruise? Yeah, they're not hitting any flappers. They're not hitting any flappers with this. And I think, is he gonna? Nah, the pendulum's gonna be safe too. They're just taking a nice little cruise. I was hoping there was gonna be some drifting in the Tofaş, but no, I guess not. That might be dangerous. It's the wheelbase does look a little top heavy, so yeah, maybe it's for the it's for the best that we don't go full drifting action. That's a nice looking car though. It looks like a classic. It's beautiful. I want one. Oh, we got a cone. We've got a cone under the Tofaş. There it goes. Oh, look at him. He's doing some donuts. That's how you do it, Abdul. I love it. Flying the Turkish flag. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yeah. That's a lot. Wow, that's more than I expected, I gotta say. He's just about getting that car sideways. Woo. Buckle up. I don't think these cars have a 3-point harness. I think you're gonna get a lap belt. Beauty. What a beauty. Ooh. Get your arm. I'm not worried for these guys. I'm worried that these guys got their arms outside. Be careful. Woo. Now that is a getaway car. Abdul Fagali driving things. That is a 1971 Tofaş. 1971. Ooh, and he's I get nervous. I get nervous every time he takes a sharp turn. I'm guessing that car has never been driven that way before. But it's got a nice little pickup. Look at that donut. Very cool. Oh, all this talk about donuts. I'm getting hungry. Can we get some Turkish ice cream? We're in Istanbul, right? Beautiful. Getting some love. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There you go. Abdul Fagali. So cool. And if you have us on, and I guess if you're listening to me, every time I say if you have us on, that's dumb, right? Because you have us on. You got us on, make sure you use the hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift. Hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift if you're on Insta Stories or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We want to see ya. Look at the crowd. This is a good crowd. Oh, I like a man who cleans up after himself. Good job getting rid of that traffic cone you're dragging around. And we will get back to drifting action here in just a moment. That was the I think that was the last non-drifting thing between the break and the break. We or between heats number 1 and 2, as we see some highlights from heat number 1. We will be getting the scores and your top 8. We will announce the top 8 drifters who will make it into heat number 2 momentarily. And we'll see if any wild cards come through and make it to the top 8. We'll have the answers to a lot of questions in just a moment. It was a pretty, I gotta say, I mean, I've been doing this for several years now, and that first round, I gotta say, a lot of the drifters were kind of taking it a bit easy, hoping to get a nice clean run in, because they know that 8 of the 10 are gonna, or 8 of the 18 are gonna make it through. But I feel like they were holding back. I gotta say, I feel like they're kind of saving a little bit for that second heat, the second and third heat. Obviously, the third heat, everything goes crazy, because they are there to impress. Yeah, the Tofage gets a little bit of the pendulum. That was nice. 60 points. But everything kind of ramps up. Everybody kind of feeling out the course. Now that they've gone through the course once, those that make through the top 8, as we do finally see those scores. And your leader, your drifting leader, Hisham Al Khateeb, had a pretty fantastic run, 378 points. Now, he was the final drifter. He was the last one out, and he killed it. Anas Al Helo, the youngest drifter today. Can I point out again, he turned 20 2 weeks ago. 373 points. He is the second on the leaderboard. And rounding out your top 3, Vakhtang Khurtsidze from Georgia, representing Georgia. Also making it through, your 4th place driver, Ibrahim Yucebas, representing Turkey, which is going to be a big hit with the local crowd today. Yassin Legal, a wild card, in at 5th place, representing Tunisia. Rifat Al Yahyai, we wondered, would he make it again? He is our only returning king of drift. He won 2 years ago in Kuwait City. He will proceed through to heat number 2, representing Oman, right? Keifa Hello, representing Lebanon, will continue on. And finally, your final finalist in heat number 2, in 8th place on the bubble, Sohail Asbah, a wild card representing Palestine. That is your top 8. And just to recap, Hisham Al Khateeb, representing Egypt, is in 1st place. Anas Al Helo, Jordan. Vakhtang Khurtsidze, representing Georgia. Ibrahim Yucebas, representing Turkey. Yassin Legal, representing Tunisia. Rifat Al Yahyai, representing Oman. Keifa Hello, representing Lebanon. And Sohail Asbah, representing Palestine. Those are your final 8, the elite 8, here in the Red Bull Car Park Drift Finals, the King of Drift. One of them will be the King of Drift. We did sadly lose our only female in today's drift, Ulku Ercoban. We kind of knew that with her run. Doesn't make us any less sad. But your crowd favorite, I'm guessing, just a guess, it's going to be Ibrahim Yucebas representing Turkey in his Toyota Soarer. I love that, the Toyota Soarer. And you got to watch Anas Al Helo. Come on, he's 20. He was a teenager 2 weeks ago. Really? In second place. Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019 is going on. As you get a look at Sohail. He appears to be, Sohail, the first one that's going to be going out. And I say that because he's right in the front. I believe we're going to go in reverse order. So Sohail, he was on the bubble. He finished in 8th place. So we're going to go from lowest score to highest in heat number 2. Makes it more exciting that way. So you ramp up to your top drifters. It doesn't mean that Sohail here isn't going to do a fantastic score and be at the top of the final 4. It just means that's how we do it. He takes a big breath. Look at the stress. There is stress involved, as any sport, I suppose, but there's a lot of stress involved in representing a country. And everybody watching around the world, facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports and Red Bull TV on redbull.com. Welcome again to the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019, live from Istanbul, Turkey. Hundreds of thousands of people watching this around the world, 10,000 here, capacity arena on the Asian side of Istanbul. As we wait for heat number 2, if you're looking for an Arabic feed, yes, we have that on Red Bull TV, and a Turkish feed as well. And me, my name is Brent Black, doing your English feed here. And having so much fun. I love this sport. I said it before, this is like my favorite motorsport. I love doing this every year. It's just such a fun, original motorsport that you won't see anywhere else. I'd like to see more. I'd love to see more of these. Can we do more of these, Red Bull, please? Thank you. I have to say it now because I know they're listening to me. This is the only time they have to listen to me. When I'm doing the live stream, the Red Bull Car Park Drift World Finals. First time ever in Istanbul. Turkey, being the host country, did have 3 drifters. We have 1 left in the Elite 8 in heat number 2. Sohail Asbah, representing Palestine, lines up, is ready to go to start heat number 2, and we are underway. Heat number 2, the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. A bit slow out of the gate in the figure 8. I don't know if he was confused, but it looks like he just decided to call it a day. I don't know what happens. This happens sometimes. He's coming back. Looks like they asked him to possibly turn around. I don't know. No, I think he just he kind of bailed. So this will be Keifa Hello. We'll try to get word what happened to Sohail as he just he got out to the figure 8 and turned around and went right back to the paddock. Maybe there was some mechanical issue. There could be a million different things that can stop your run. Again, we've had cars get to this point right here and just not get to go. They just stop. So this is not unusual when you're messing with mechanics and motors and a million different things. These cars, you know, they've got so many things that can go wrong, and sometimes that happens. Unfortunately, I believe we are down to 7 drifters now. I don't believe we will get Sohail back on the starting block. But Keifa Hello, representing Lebanon, will officially, at least I'm going to say officially, get us going for heat number 2. And I just got the word from the judges that was a DNF. Sohail did not finish, will not go on to the final 4. I'm told he had a broken drive shaft. Sohail suffered a broken drive shaft in the opening seconds, so he did not finish. Keifa Hello, representing the beautiful country of Lebanon, hits the first flapper and got the second too in that straightaway. Looking pretty good, keeping it a little sideways. The pendulum, that may have been a glancing hit to the pendulum. We're gonna have to see on the replay. It's hard to see from that angle, my angle here. He did make it through the straightaway. We'll see if he got the 60 points for that pendulum strike. If not, he got 0 into the first box, which has been a challenge all day long. Not too bad. He did have just a slight bit of hesitation, but as hard as that is, I will say it was decent. Not a bad run through the second box. And Keifa will get into that spiral. Important that you hit that first flapper, and he did get that first gate, so he'll get the 15 points for that. And one more gate right here, another 15 points. That is harder than it looks. Pretty decent run for Keifa. And crowd giving him some love. Keifa Hello in the BMW E46 representing Lebanon. And we'll hopefully get his score momentarily, see how he stands. He's definitely going to be in first place so far. As we get a look at the replay. And these are all new scores. This second heat, the scores from the first heat do not matter right now. Later on, they may come into play, but right now, second heat scores are on their own. So everybody is back to 0 to move on to the third and final heat of Final Four. You only use the score you get from heat number 2. As we await the judges. And the criteria, again, there are several pieces of criteria that the judges are looking at. They judged all of these cars for their curb appeal, the way they look. That gets you 40 points. And then the drifting itself is the most. It's 120 points total. This course is split into 2 halves. One half, 60 points. The second half, 60 points. Why do they cut it in half like that? It's so different judges can watch, because it's hard for one judge to watch everything, right? The boxes are worth 30 points apiece. Either do them right, or you can lose points if you don't smoothly go through those boxes. The pendulum, 60 or 0. It's either 60 points or nothing. Same way with all the flappers, 30 points or nothing. The gates, 15 points or nothing. Either hit them or you don't. As we wait for our 6th place drifter in the first round, this is Rifat Al Yahyai. Now, he won the King of Drift title 2 years ago in Kuwait City. He's our only returning King of Drift. He's been there before. He knows what it takes to win this thing. He was only 6th place in heat number 1. Here's a replay to see. Woo! That was about as close as it gets. You know what? He did hit that pendulum. He will get those 60 points. Keifa Hello will get the 60 points for the pendulum. As fans, we like to see it really get knocked around, but really it doesn't matter. Either you hit it or you don't, and he hit it. And I think the judges needed to get another look at that replay. That's why we're seeing that now. That's why they're taking a little bit of extra time to get the score for Keifa. So you're probably wondering, why so much replay? Well, there's some judging that has to be done, and you know, this is a sport that allows replay. We get instant replay here because sometimes you want to make sure that 281 points for Keifa, that isn't bad. Will it get him through to the Final Four? That's a bit of a question. But so far, he's in first place. Rifat Al Yahyai, representing Oman, the only King of Drift. He's got a mustache this year. I don't think he had a mustache last year. Does it make him more or less aerodynamic? I don't know the answer to that question. Into heat number 2, Rifat. He's a super nice guy. He was a super nice champion. has a lot of fun. He's got some good style. He doesn't really, he kind of takes his time, which is kind of what you want to do. You don't want to speed your way through this. There's no reason to, as he gets that flapper there. Over to the pendulum, and he'll hit it just because I know him, and he will hit that. He didn't just hit it, he knocked it out of the park, I think. Through the straightaway of barrels. Twisting around, trying to keep that sideways. Into the first and most challenging of the boxes. A little bit of a hesitation, a lot of a hesitation. Nearly stopped, and I believe we're gonna have another. Oh, he got it started again. It looks like he just stalled out there. I was really worried that he was gonna have a mechanical malfunction. As Rifat, our returning king of drift from 2017, makes his way through the spiral. Got the second gate. I believe he missed the first gate, so he didn't get the 15 points on the first one. Will on the second. Not a bad run. He did have some sort of difficulty there. He stalled out. That's definitely going to cost him. I don't think that'll put him at the top right now, but it'll get him a decent score. I'm guessing it'll get him a decent score. I had kind of a flashback. I want to say that Rifat may have had some sort of mechanical difficulties last year in Lebanon, and that took him out of the chance to become a 2-time in a row king of drift. That would have been huge for him, but unfortunately he was taken out last year. I don't believe he made the final four. He did hit the pendulum nicely, and it went flying. And through the straightaway, it was out of that first box. Out of the first box was where he had some kind of difficulty. I don't know if he just killed it right there. And he got it started again, which is fantastic, but could cost him getting in the final four. Only time will tell as we await his score from the judges. Rifat Al Yahyai representing Oman. Look good there right at the end. Actually, 297 points. That's really surprisingly good for somebody that kind of killed his engine there in the middle. So that will put him, I believe, at the top so far of heat number 2. Yassin Legal. He is our only wild card to make it to the Elite 8, the final 8 here. He's representing Tunisia. Here in Istanbul, Yassin is on his way into the figure 8. Taking his time, looking good in that BMW. Over to the flappers. He hit that one nicely. The pendulum gets hit, gets his 60 points. Looking good, trying to get through. Gotta make that awkward, you gotta make that awkward change to get through the straightaway there, through the barrels. And you do lose some of your drift, but that's the challenge. Going over to the box number 1 and did that pretty well. That's a hard one to go through, and the crowd's giving him some love too. The crowd loves him. Yassin making his way through box number 2. Each box worth about 30 points. Depending on how well you get through it, the judges will score you. Gets that first gate in the spiral. 15 points there. Gate number 2. Will it happen? Got it. Solid run. Didn't hit any obstacles. I was about to say didn't. Oh, did he hit a barrel there at the end? Hopefully that was an extra. He did not have to do that extra spin at the end. I don't know if he may have just rubbed against one of those barrels. I hope not, because that was a great run. I'm not a judge. I have to reiterate, I am not a judge. I'm not qualified to be a judge, but I kind of feel like I got a good feel of what is a good run. And I felt like that was a pretty good run. I felt it was solid. So Yassin Legal, representing Tunisia in the BMW E36, a wild card invitation, meaning he did not qualify at one of the qualifiers held around the Middle East and Eastern Europe. He was an invite. Yassin Legal, 374 points. See, I kind of know what I'm talking about. It always surprises me when I know what I'm talking about. Ibrahim Yucebas. He had a really nice run in the first heat. This is the local favorite. He's representing Turkey in that Toyota Soarer. This is that little convertible. Remember? Yeah, I got no roof. You don't need a roof. It's got a monkey in there though. Is that a monkey? I think it's a monkey hanging on. Any extra points for a monkey? You know what? The judges do look at the overall, feel of your car. The looks of it do get you 40 points up too. I'll bet that monkey got him at least 3 or 4 points. As Ibrahim waits the signal to start his second heat drift. And he's off. And I really liked his run. I really liked that first run in heat number 1. Something about how low to the ground he is, I just feel like that gives him a really good advantage in this car. Could just be the fact that it doesn't have a roof and it makes it look like it's lower to the ground. But the Toyota Soarer, I've never driven one, but this makes me want to. He's having a nice little run right there, keeping it sideways. See if he hits that pendulum. Yes, he did. No problem. No rear bumper either. Now I want to go back to the replay just to see if he had a rear bumper when he started. Did he lose that thing? In the first box. Hard one, but he kept it moving. You see that? Just those micro movements. You got to just keep moving, and that'll help you with your points. Because if you stop, you lose points. He's getting some nice sound out of that engine. You know what? That exhaust gets you some points too. Hits that first gate, eases into the inner spiral. Missed the second gate on the first time around, I do believe. He'll try it again. Missed it again. That was a good run, though. That was a good run, representing Turkey. Ibrahim Yucebas, driving that Toyota Soarer, giving away to the crowd. I'm going to say that he probably would have liked a bit better of a run, but it was pretty good. That was a pretty good run. I think he should be proud of it. As he heads back into the paddock, see some replays here. I want to see if he had a bumper. Yeah, he didn't have a bumper. Yeah, he came out without a rear bumper. It's okay. You don't need that. That's a nice look at the drift. Not a lot of smoke, which kind of loses you a couple of points. I think smoke is like 15 extra points if you can get a good amount of smoke. But he did have that engine sound, that exhaust sound, the sound of your car. 352 points, solid run. Will it be enough to get him into the final 4? I don't know. Right now it does. I think it puts him in the top 2. And we're already 5 in. We're 5 drifters into our final 8. Heat number 2, working its way down. Representing Georgia, it's going to be Vakhtang Khurtsidze. Vakhtang. The BMW M3. Gives a wave. He's thinking about all the sponsors he's going to get for his helmet next year. Driving the 2003 BMW M3. These guys work on their car year-round in their garages. It's their hobby, it's their passion. today it could earn them the title King of Drift, Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. You want to stand on that podium. You want to raise up that trophy. Hit that first flapper there. Got the second one as well. Buzzing around to the pendulum. This is a great looking drift right now. This run is pretty fantastic. Making his way. That was an excellent transition. Wasn't jerky at all. Nice and smooth. Getting through that straightaway of barrels into the first box. This first box is going to be very telling. So far, to me, he's having the best drift of the second heat. Pretty good in that first box. The crowd's giving him some love. You can hear them. Box number 2, just a little bit of a hesitation. Really hits the gas, making his way to this spiral, trying to get enough speed to go sideways. Got the first gate. Working his way through the spiral, doing his best not to hit those barrels. Still keeping the wheel spinning, that's good. A little bit of a straight, kind of a flow hesitation there, but that's a pretty good looking drift as well. You know what? This second heat is going to be very competitive. It is very competitive. And I'm going to say he's going to be north of 300 points as well with that drift. I'm thinking that's pretty safe bet. He didn't have any real errors, didn't hit any of the obstacles. And I think he hit all of the flappers, gates, and the pendulum. I know he hit the pendulum, so that's a good looking run. Vakhtang Khurtsidze out of Georgia. First time, I want to say this is the first time we've had Georgia represented in the Car Park Drift Championships. Welcome to the big show, Georgia. And we will wait for that score. He did so well in that first box. It can't be understated how hard that one is. It's just because the angle you come in is so important. Oh, and those barrels, he's so close. It's just, I mean, that is art. When you see them do this spiral, it is just art. That is not easy. They make it look easy though. Again, my name is Brent Black here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019, Istanbul, Turkey. First year hosting here. Hopefully we come back many more times. Beautiful day, 28 degrees. Just a couple of clouds in the sky, a little bit windy, 10,000 people here watching the action. Thanks for having us on. As Vakhtang gets a 363 points. That was, as we said, an excellent run. And you're definitely going to have to be north of that 300 point mark, I think, to make the final 4 in heat number 3. Anas Al Helo. Anas has a healthy mustache for a 20-year-old. He is the youngest drifter today. According to this, he was really with that mustache. After seeing that mustache, I want to check his ID. He was a teenager 2 weeks ago. Just turned 20 and put on a heck of a show in heat number 1, getting second place. Even with the boom camera, even with the GoPro boom on top. Nice looking figure 8. Good sound. Some of the best smoke we've seen today. He definitely worked on that car, just barely got that flapper. That'll count. Coming over to the pendulum. Got that too. This kid, I'm gonna call him a kid, is excellent. Just a little hesitation going down. That'll cost him a couple of extra points in the drifting style with the judges. Into the first box, he made it look easy. Round number 1 in the first heat. Not bad. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but not bad. Second box, I believe, unfortunately, he may hit a couple of those barriers. That'll cost him a little bit. But going through the box looked pretty good. Into the spiral. If he can avoid these barrels, keep it sideways. Looking good, sounding great. And he get both of those gates. It's hard to tell from this vantage point up here in the studio. I'm going to want to see a replay for that, but he did a pretty fantastic run. Anas Al Helo, representing the country of Jordan, 20 years old. Looked great out of the gate, right into that figure eight, just burning those tires. Just clipping that flapper, and did really well with the pendulum. 301 points. I believe hitting those barriers did cost him a bit, and he didn't get all of the gates at the end. 301 points, I think, is going to put him on the bubble. I don't know if he'll make it to the final four, because scores have been so strong so far. As we get to Hisham Al Khateeb, your points leader in heat number 1. And you got to expect something big out of him. He had such a fantastic run in the first heat. Hisham Al Khateeb, representing Egypt. And I know the people in Egypt right now are going crazy for him. Here in Istanbul, the Mazda RX-8. Look how still that front bumper is next to that obstacle. That is just perfect drifting. You keep that rear end going around. It sounds great. It's a great looking car. Going for the pendulum, and got it, and did a great job of avoiding the wall next to the pendulum. Nice little drift, a little bit of a hesitation. He may have stalled, and he has stalled. Or something mechanical has happened. He knew instantly something fatal happened to that car, and he is not happy, and I can't blame him. He was probably the favorite coming into this second heat. What a shame. Hisham Al Khateeb, DNF, did not finish. And the crowd giving him some love. And that has got to be the loneliest walk all the way across. And I think he forgot his keys. Now he's going back to the car. We laugh, but we know this is the most disappointing thing. It is just heartbreaking. You work your way. Hisham won his event in Egypt to make his way here. And to have this happen, to get the top score in heat number 1, and now heat number 2 looking great. And then something mechanical happens, and maybe we'll find out up here in the studio what exactly did happen. It's not easy on these cars. This is very stressful on, you know, the mechanics of these cars. And he did actually hit that first. I didn't notice that the first time around. He actually hit the spool there, and that would have cost him some points as well. Not that it matters now. He hit the first flapper. He was doing a pretty decent run. I don't know if it would have made him, since he hit one of the obstacles, but it was a pretty minor thing. He looked great coming around that obstacle, but just a heartbreak. Did a great job, you know, avoiding the wall, the barrier with the pendulum, and then just something gave in Hisham's car right here. And you can just tell right there, you can see there's no power there, and he knew. And that is your heat number 2. We'll get you full scores. With heat number 2, there's a little bit of entertainment on the course now as we get the final scores for heat number 2, find out who the final drivers are. Live in Istanbul, it is the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. Every year we have some entertainment. We have Red Bull stunt drivers and other motorsports entertainers that kind of entertain the crowd and entertain you as you get a good look. And to be completely honest, I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm excited to see what it is. Again, thanks to our sponsor, Falcon Tires. Well, that's impressive. You gotta love it. You gotta love Red Bull and their huge team of athletes. And thanks again for having us on Red Bull TV, redbull.com, and facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports. I'm Brent Black, doing your English stream. You can also find us in Arabic and Turkish, Red Bull TV at redbull.com. This is Berkan Polat, Red Bull rider. Berkan Polat. I wanted to give him some love. I had the guys back in the studio get me all the details about this guy. He's fantastic. And the crowd's loving it. Let's see him hit the pendulum. Come on. Just one time. Berkan doing his thing while we await the top four, the finalists who will be competing for King of Drift 2019 here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Woo. Don't try this at home, everyone. He's a professional. Berkan Polat, Red Bull athlete. Oh, thank you. My Red Bull is here. Well, you gotta applaud that, right? That's amazing. Who does a handstand on a moving motorcycle? the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. Of course, just the finals of several events in this circuit. And I highly recommend, if one of the events is going on around in your city, in your country, go to it, support it. It's extremely entertaining. These guys do it for the passion of the sport. Crowd absolutely loving this. 10,000 strong here in Istanbul, Turkey. Barkan getting a big high five from Abdul Fagali. And that means we're getting very close to the finals, the final four. Oh, getting a replay. I like that. Getting a little bit of a replay. And now we're getting ready, yes, for heat number 3, the final 4. This is where we will determine who will be the King of Drift 2019 as we await the scores. We still haven't seen the final 4. Who is going to be in the final 4? Everybody wants it. And the event goes so quickly. Sometimes you get in and you watch these events and they go by so quick. You're like, really? This is, you just want it to keep going. But here we go. Moments away from finding out who gets to compete for the King of Drift title. The judges communicating those scores to us here in the booth here in Istanbul. I gotta see these scores. I want to know who's going to get in here. Will Turkey have a representative? Will we have Rifat Al Yahyai, who will be the returning King of Drift? Will he make it? Will the 20-year-old, barely not a teenager, make it through? Speaking of, right there he is, Anas Al Helo, the 20-year-old from Jordan, representing Jordan. Drifting, rising in popularity for the past several years in Jordan. And it's all thanks to Red Bull and the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Initially, this sport was something that grew out of people doing it themselves in not such legal places like the street or regular parking lots and car parks where they would be asked to leave by the police. So Red Bull thought, hey, you know what? Let's make this a competition. Let's put this inside a safe area. Let's make some rules. Let's have some judges. Let's make a title. As you see the close dimensions, and Anas did hit the wall there, but you know what? Maybe he'll make it through nonetheless, because he had a really good run other than that one little bump against the wall. And you can see how important it is to not hit anything. Again, thanks for having us on wherever you are. We are live in Istanbul, Turkey for the first ever Red Bull Car Park Drift here. This is our 9th annual. We got to celebrate big in 10, right? We got to do something big for the 10th anniversary of the Red Bull Car Park Drift Championship, searching for the King of Drift. That's next year. Let's talk about this year. Let's get ready for this third and final heat as we do our broadcast around the world. I could do that. My name is Brent Black. If you are looking for like an Arabic or Turkish translation, the broadcasts there are going on in Red Bull TV. Check us out, facebook.com/Red Bull Motorsports, or just redbull.com. Click on TV, it's on the left side of your screen there, and you will find a Turkish and an Arabic feed as well. Awesome guys over there. But thank you for having us on here on the English feed. We are doing it worldwide. It is a capacity crowd. Got some spill over there, as you can see at the end of the course. The cheap seats, as they call them. If you've never attended one of these events, especially this final, you gotta do it. If it's coming to your city, if it's coming to your country, do it. It's a lot of fun. Watching it on the internet is one thing, but being there in person, you hear these cars. These cars make such amazing sounds, and they put on an amazing show for you. So definitely check out this and any Red Bull Motorsports event. They do it right. As I take a sip of my Red Bull, sugar-free. But I also mean it. I know who the final 4 drifters are going to be, but I'm not going to tell you. I know the answer. It's there they are. I knew it was coming soon. Oh, that was a quick flash. Was that a tease? You guys are teasing me up in the booth. Oh, you did it again. Here we go. We are starting out in heat number 3. Anas Al Helo. He was the 4th place finisher, heat number 2. He's 20 years old, representing Jordan, and he's off. Will we have a 20-year-old King of Drift? I would have to say he'd have to be the youngest ever King of Drift if he does pull this off. Into the figure 8, heat number 3, live from Istanbul, Turkey. Putting the smoke out like you're supposed to do. I will tell you, nothing is like heat number 3. This is where they put it all on the line because they know they're not coming back. This is it. Hitting the pendulum. Into the straightaway. Nice transition. Gonna come around and make his way to the first box. slows down a little bit cautious. Of course, also in heat number 3, while you need to put it all out there, you don't want to completely mess up your run. He's a little cautious through those 2 boxes. I say that probably gives him a little deduction on those boxes. He may not get close to 30 points on them. Not bad though, hasn't hit anything. Pretty perfect run so far, making his way through that spiral. Hits both of the final gates, giving a little bit of extra around the middle. And you know what? That was great. That was a really solid run for the 20-year-old out of Jordan, Anas Al Helo. Makes his way back to the paddock. He's gonna be pretty happy with that. I'm not gonna lie and say that was electrifying, but it was pretty good. Could be enough to get him the King of Drift. We'll find out. We have 3 more drifters to go in this Red Bull Car Park Drift final here in Istanbul. Waiting for that score. Actually, I do know this. I remember this from years past. We will not see a score. We like to keep it a little bit of a surprise. Because if we just give you the score, you know who's going to win. We like to have a big moment there at the end. So this is your King of Drift. You get a nice overhead look. By the way, big props to the production team. I don't know how you get that look. How do you get that? Is that a drone? That is a great look at the final spiral here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. Ibrahim Yucebas representing Turkey. He's the hometown favorite, driving in that right side vehicle. Loving that Toyota. The Toyota Soar as Ibrahim Yucebas takes off and gets into that figure 8, looking for the King of Drift title here in heat number 3. Making it look pretty easy. Keeping those back wheels spinning nicely, making that smoke he needs to make, sounding fantastic. Hits that first flapper, really nice. Going into the pendulum, nails the pendulum, working his way around to that straight of barrels. Not a bad transition, little bit of a slowdown. Brings that Toyota's rear end around like you gotta do into the first and most challenging of the boxes. Made that box look easy. That was fantastic. That was a great run for that first box. One of the best we've seen here today. Into box number 2. Each of these boxes worth 30 points. A little bit of a slowdown. Surprising how much of a slowdown. Gives a little wave to the crowd. Loving that. He's enjoying himself. Makes a nice run through the spiral. Got really close there on the outside. Onto the inside. Hits both of the gates. Ibrahim Yucebas representing Turkey. The hometown here in Istanbul is gonna love that. Listen to him. Gives a nice wave to the 10,000 strong here in Istanbul. That was a great run. Again, holding the scores until the end. I think I don't want to say. I think he's got a real shot. I'm not a judge, but I think he's got a real shot at winning this King of Drift title. Did such a great job whipping around. I mean, the crowd loves it. It's either 60 points or nothing on that pendulum, but the crowd loves it when you really nail it, and he nailed it. Oh, did not see that the first time around. He actually did bump that barrier in one of the boxes. The first box, he bumped that barrier. I thought he did a great job, but he actually grazed the barrier. He'll lose a couple of points on that. Not a tremendous loss. What a great looking run. Ibrahim Yucebas representing Turkey as we get ready for Vakhtang Khurtsidze. Now, Vakhtang is from Georgia. He's representing Georgia. He's the winner of the first ever car park drift held in Georgia. It just happened last month. Hi to everybody from Georgia watching in on this live stream. We know you're pulling for him. This is a big moment. The first time ever in the Red Bull Car Park Drift Championships. Got a little bit of road damage there on the back bumper. That just shows he's been places. Getting into that figure 8. Vakhtang Khurtsidze. Got some nice smoke, sounding good. The sound that you're hearing on the live stream cannot even compare to what these cars are actually doing. They are absolutely roaring beasts around this track. There's just about nothing like it outside of a jet engine. Did a nice job hitting the pendulum. If he can keep this going, nice swing around, nice, really nice drift. That's what you want to do. You want to try to wiggle your way through into that drift, into that awkward transition. He made it look really easy. Gonna go into that first box. Let's see how he does here. Can he avoid hitting anything? He does. Sometimes it helps to have a little shorter car. Into the second box is our drifter from Georgia. Had a big swing, but made it look, again, pretty easy. Follow those arrows to the exit. Make your way to that spiral. Little bit of a hesitation there. Tough to tell from that angle. The overhead looks fantastic. Hit both of the gates. Ooh, gets a little close to his barrels, a little close for comfort, but showing off. He's happy. You can tell just the way he's drifting. He's happy. That is Vakhtang Khurtsidze representing Georgia in their first ever Red Bull Car Park Drift. Nice run. Makes his way back to the paddock. Again, you will not see the score. We will hold the scores until the end. Man, this final, I gotta say, this could be anyone's as we get ready for our final drifter. Yassin Legal up next. He was the highest scorer from heat number 2. But Vakhtang Khurtsidze, wow, good run. I can't even imagine it's going to come down to a few points. I have a feeling this may be one of the closest finals that we've ever had here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Just really did a pretty solid job. Didn't hit anything in those boxes. Did Vakhtang? He didn't really hit anything that he wasn't supposed to. And that could be the difference. Just that little bump that Ibrahim earlier did against the barrier in one of the boxes, that could be what loses him the King of Drift title. I don't know though, but he did those boxes better. He actually drifted through the boxes. So we'll see the difference in scores will be very telling. And there you go. Representing Tunisia, Yassin Legal. Yassin taking off. He knows it's either now or never. The Red Bull Car Park Drift final drifter of 2019 in heat number 3 into that first figure 8. Taking his time. Sometimes you do want to take your time. Keep it sideways. Hit that first flapper nicely. The second one flaps away as well. Get to that pendulum. No! Missed the pendulum. He missed that pendulum. That's pretty much, I'm going to say, with as competitive as scores as they've been in this final heat, that may lose him the opportunity to stand at the top. And wouldn't it be, oh, and he bumped the barrel just a little bit. That'll cost him a little bit of score on that first box. Second box in. He's going to wish he had this run back and he could do it again, but it's one and done. You only get one chance. Yassin Legal representing Tunisia here in Istanbul, Turkey. He knocked one of the barrels a little bit, just gave it a nudge. That'll cost him a little bit in this final spiral. He hit another one. Definitely not as good as his second heat performance. He was much better in heat number 2. That car sounds fantastic. Unfortunately, sound only gets you about 15 points. Yassin Legal from Tunisia. Probably going to want that one back. As we take a look at his run, a little bit of started out really strong. Just a couple of ticky-tack things here and there that are going to cost him with the points, with the judges. The barrels being the some of the big ones, and not hitting the pendulum. You don't hit the pendulum today, at least. The pendulum, you don't hit it. It's a fatal flaw, unfortunately, and he came close. Look at that. That pendulum was swinging just a little bit, and it just breezed out. See, you know what? I said earlier here in Istanbul, it was a little bit windy today. Look at that. The wind may have cost someone the King of Drift title. He bumped the barrel there just a little bit. That's not too much off for the judges, but it's still something to look at. But 60 points with that pendulum, that will do it for you. And you know, once you see you miss that pendulum, you know he's thinking, oh! And he doesn't have his head on straight for the rest of this course. So he hit a couple of barrels. But there you go, your final 4 have drifted, and now we wait. We wait for the scores from our judges. After all is said and done here in Istanbul, we look at the car looks, the drifting skills, how well you handle those boxes, the pendulum, the car sound, the tire smoke. All those flappers, the gates, all that time, all that effort, all the money these guys got to spend on their cars, right? All the bells and whistles, the horsepower. I don't think there was a car out there today that had less than 450 horsepower. I think the top was 871 horsepower. This stuff, yeah. It's all about the pride, though. Done in their own home garages. And they come out every year for the Red Bull Car Park Drift. This was fun. Can we do this again? I don't want it to be over. Can we let's just get all the cars back out there, the ones that still run. Sadly lost a couple today due to some mechanical issues, but that happens every year. Part of the sport. And these guys, you know, they're drifters, and then there are the teams behind them. It's not just one person's thing. This is a team sport. As you get a look at the trophies, the top 3 places. Don't get anything for 4th place. Love the looks of that. Look at that. Some cylinders, right? Beauties. The world final. Oh, I saw that. I saw that little camera technique. Zoom out while you walk in. Yes. Good job. Big shout out to everybody on the crew here at Red Bull with the fine camera work. This is not an easy sport to get all the action. And great work, guys, today. Very, very well done. Which country's gonna get it? Which one? Tunisia, Georgia, Jordan, or the home country here of Turkey? Somebody gonna represent. And I gotta say, this crowd is gonna erupt if the king of drift turns out to be Ibrahim Yucebas from Turkey, representing Turkey here. And I think that's going to be that would be the first time I've ever been a part of one of the Red Bull car park drifts where the home country, the hosting country, has a king of drifts. So should be interesting to see. Not that I have a favorite. I'm impartial. I'm just saying. Those are some good runs, but I have my ideas. Want to hear my ideas? I'm going to say it might be between Ibrahim Yucebas from Turkey and Vakhtang Khurtsidze from Georgia. That's my idea. I know Anas Al-Helo from Jordan had a good run, but I have a feeling those other two, their runs were just a bit better. And of course, Yassin Legal, he did not have the best run, hitting a few of the obstacles. As we get close to the trophy and winner presentation here on Istanbul, everybody waiting, everybody, eyes center stage. I believe we'll get all of our drifters out for one last goodbye as well. Here live from Istanbul on the Asian side. Istanbul divided by the Bosphorus. You've got Europe on one side, Asia on the other. Just an amazing city. Beautiful people, beautiful culture. Thanks so much to you all for having us in Istanbul. Definitely want to come back again. So excited that you're part of the Red Bull Car Park Drift, as it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. The word is getting out, and by the looks of this 10,000 strong crowd today, the word is out in Istanbul. As you can see the road rash, the damage done with all the tires. How many tires do you think are left out there on the course in powder? They're all in powder form now. Big thanks to Falcon Tires for keeping us on the road. Our big sponsor here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift. I don't think these guys want to go home. I think everybody's cool with just chilling out. I mean, obviously they're waiting to find out who's going to be the king of drift, but why go home? It's a beautiful day. Making it a party here in Istanbul. Again, our judges on the panel. Mad Mike Wadet. He was judging car looks, drifting skills, and he was looking at section 1, the first half. And he was also judging box 1. So he was judging about 100 points total. And then Alexander Granchuk was looking at the car looks as well. All of the judges look at the car looks. Drifting skills in section 2, he was judging how well the drifters got through box 2 for 100 total points. Nicolas Dufour was judging the car looks. He was judging the pendulum, the sound of the car, and the tire smoke. A total of 100 points. And our local judge here from Turkey, Yagiz Avshi. Yagiz was judging the car looks, the flapper 1 and 2, and the spiral gate 1 and 2. For a total of 100 points. So each judge is responsible for 100 points. It's a total of 400 points overall for each of the heats. And that's how you get your final scores. And that's how you can appreciate if someone gets above 300, that's a good run. Big thanks to our panel of judges. If you're getting us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, throw us up a hashtag Red Bull Car Park Drift. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is an awesome day of motorsports here in Istanbul. as there's only one thing left to do, and that is to crown a king of drift. And I wasn't joking about a queen of drift. Come on. I know there are some females listening right now thinking, I could do this. I could do this better than those guys can. So go do it. Go get your car. Go get a BMW. Go get a Nissan. Go get a Toyota Soarer. Get in the garage. Get a sponsor. And start your skills. There are drifting schools all over the world where you can learn this sport and become a king or queen of drift. And come to Istanbul. It's gorgeous. Book a flight today. Don't wait till tomorrow. See this amazing city and its culture as you get a look at Abdul, the world record holder and the director of the Red Bull Car Park Drift. Here we go. That is a surprise. I'm a bit surprised about this. Third place going to Vakhtang Khurtsidze from Georgia. I really thought he had potential to take home the King of Drift title. I'll be interested to see the final scores. In their first ever car park drift just last week, just a week ago, he qualified at the first ever qualifier in Georgia. An amazing showing to get third place in the finals here at the Red Bull Car Park Drift. As we find out who will be second place. Really, when we find out who second place is, we're going to find out who the King of Drift is, because Yassin from Tunisia, I have a feeling he hit a few obstacles, so. But then again, I've been known to be wrong. I was really surprised there. Vakhtang, I really thought had it, or had potential, at least to get second. But there you go, third place, Vakhtang Khurtsidze from Georgia. Congratulations. Second place, here it is. Ibrahim Yucebas from Turkey will be your second place finisher. Now, I don't want to, well, I do kind of want to predict as Ibrahim gets his applause, his well-deserved applause from a probably slightly disappointed crowd here in Istanbul, representing Turkey. Second place, I gotta think Anas Al Helo from Jordan may have this. And that would be, to me, a huge surprise. But maybe the judges saw some things that I didn't. But if it's true, and Anas has got it, 20 years old, I still need to check his ID if he's actually 20 years old. Just had a birthday like 2 weeks ago to turn 20. Is that true? Yassin Legal, will he be from Jordan, your King of Drift? Or out of nowhere, would Yassin Legal from Tunisia pick it up? Is that even possible? Abdul right there is taking a selfie video with Anas. I have a feeling he knows it too. Look at him. Look at him. Anas Al Helo, look at him. Is that even possible? The 20-year-old from Jordan is your King of Drift. And my only other question is, how can a 20-year-old grow that kind of mustache? I'm extraordinarily jealous of this guy. Look at that. Hoisting the Jordanian flag high here in Istanbul. Your King of Drift, your champion, Anas Al Helo. And there's your score with 381 points out of 400. that means he had a near perfect run through this course today, and very deserving. And your fourth place then would have been Yassin Legal from Tunisia. Really incredible job by all of these drifters today. We had a fantastic, safe competition. And yeah, you gotta love it. There you go. The Jordanian, the 20-year-old Jordanian, picks it up. It is. It's a great look at him. Great to see that Turkey flag as well, flying high here in Istanbul. Second place with Ibrahim Yucebas. Rounding out your top three, Vakhtang Khurtsidze from Georgia. I really think this was, I'd like to see the scores, but I really think this was a very, very close one for your top three. What a day in motorsports action. Red Bull Car Park Drift 2019. My name is Brent Black from Istanbul, Turkey. I want to say we'll see you next year for the 10th annual Red Bull Car Park Drift Finals.
İstanbul Valiliğimize, İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediye'mize, Spor İstanbul'a, Gençlik ve Spor Müdürlüğümüze, sponsorlarımız Anthem, Atlas Global, Fanatik ve TR Motorsport'a teşekkür ederiz. Elbette ki özel teşekkürlerimizle bu organizasyonun gerçekleşmesine büyük emek veren Türkiye Drift Kulübü'ne ve Türkiye Otomobil Sporları Federasyonu'na da ayrıca çok teşekkür ederiz. Ve şimdi bir Tokyo Hobiyansı'yı basın mensupları yavaş yavaş uzaklaşıyor ve podyumda başarılı pilotlar